Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Indian Maritime University, Chennai, I, Varnika Das, along with my co-host Afzal, extend a warm welcome to all of you to the International Women's Day celebration. I request everyone to kindly sit. Today is not just a celebration, it is a pause to reflect, a pause to listen, and a pause to ask ourselves some honest questions. We are gathered here for International Women's Day, a day observed across the world under the guidance of the United Nations. But beyond global recognition, today has a very personal meaning for an institution like ours. The theme of the day is collective responsibility for lasting equality, and the word collective is where the real work begins. Equality cannot depend on one woman breaking a barrier. It cannot depend on one policy document. It cannot depend on one annual celebration, not in speeches, but in everyday actions. Today is not about placing women on a pedestal. It is about asking whether the ground beneath us is equal. And that is a question that belongs to everyone in this room.
To formally commence the celebration, I now invite our respected head, School of Marine Engineering and Technology, Professor R. Prasanna Kumar, to deliver the welcome address and set the tone for today's event.
Good morning everyone present here. On behalf of Indian Maritime University, it gives me immense pleasure and pride to extend a very warm welcome to all the distinguished guests, faculty members, students and staff gathered here today for this special International Women's Day panel discussion. International Women's Day is not merely a celebration, it is a reminder of resilience, determination and achievement of women across the world. It is also an opportunity to reflect on the journey ahead towards equality, opportunity, and empowerment. Today's panel discussion is centered around the theme of collective responsibility for lasting equality, a theme that emphasizes that meaningful change is not the responsibility of a few, but all of us together. At the outset, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Madam, whose vision continues to guide this institution toward excellence. I would like to thank our respected Director of the Chennai campus, whose constant encouragement and support make this event possible. My sincere appreciation to all goes to our esteemed faculty members, administrative staff, organizing team, whose dedication and helping to bring this meaningful event to life. It is now my privilege to warmly welcome our distinguished chief guest, Ms. Mrinalini D., a functional consultant at Infosys, a maritime and sustainability professional, and proud alumna of Indian Maritime University, Chennai. Her journey stands as an inspiration example of how knowledge, innovation, and commitment can shape a future of maritime and sustainability. We are also equally honored to have with us inspiring motivational speaker, Ms. Sridevi Ramesh, consultant trainer, whose insights and experience will undoubtedly encourage all of us to pursue our aspirations with confidence and purpose. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished panel speakers who bring remarkable achievements and diverse perspective. First, we welcome Ms. Reshma Nilofar Visalakshi, a recipient of Nari Sakti Purashkar and India's first and only female maritime pilot. Her groundbreaking journey represents courage, perseverance, and the spirit of breaking barriers. Next, we are honored to have Ms. Nafisa Molobai, a Managing Director of AS Molobai and Sons Groups and recipient of Maritime Standard Women in Shipping Award 2025. Her leadership and vision continues to shape maritime industry and inspire future professionals. We are also privileged to welcome Ms. Anita Paulraj, Padmasri Awardee, basketball champion, and celebrated athlete from Indian Railways. Her remarkable journey of perseverance and excellence is a testament to dedication, discipline, and determination. Each of our speakers represent different dimensions of leadership: maritime excellence, corporate leadership, and sports achievements. But they all share one common message, that courage and commitment can transform barrier into an opportunity. Dear students, today's discussion is not just an event, it's a learning opportunity. The experiences shared here will remind us that progress is built on courage, support, and collective responsibility. As we celebrate this day, let us remember that empowering women is not only about equality, it is about building a stronger institutions, stronger industry, and stronger society. With these words, I once again extend my heartfelt welcome to all of you and wish this panel discussion great success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for grounding us in purpose and reminding us that institutions shape mindset long before industries do. Now, it is our honor to felicitate the dignitaries who have joined us today. May I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Malini V. Shankar, to kindly felicitate our Chief Guest, Ms. Mrinalini D. Thank you, ma'am. May I request our Registrar, Shri K. Saravanan, to kindly come upon stage and felicitate Padma Shri Awardee, Ms. Anita Paldurai. Registrar sir, I kindly again request you to felicitate Nari Shakti Purashkar Awardee, Ms. Reshma Nilofar Visalakshi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. May I now request our Controller of Examiner, Commodore K.D. Joshi, to kindly come up on stage and felicitate Maritime Standard Women in Shipping 2025 awardee, Ms. Nafisa Mulaboy.
Asked me if I want full draping or half draping. I said absolutely full. It even matches my outfit.
You can go. Thank you, ma'am. I again request Commodore K.D. Joshi to kindly felicitate Ms. Sridevi Ramesh. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. International Women's Day is a time to honor those who led by example. We are incredibly fortunate to be guided by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Malini V. Shankar, whose pioneering achievements and tireless dedication to the maritime industry serve as a constant source of inspiration for every student professional here at IMU. A distinguished bureaucrat from the 1984 IAS batch, Dr. Malini V. Shankar has served in several pivotal capacities, including as the Director General of Shipping, Government of India, where she plays a key role in steering significant maritime reforms. As the Vice Chancellor of the Indian Maritime University, she continues to inspire the maritime community and all of us present here through her vision, leadership, and unwavering commitment to excellence. To mark this special occasion as a token of our deep respect and appreciation, may I now request our respected Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Raju Balaji, to come up forward and felicitate our Vice Chancellor. Ma'am, may I request you to kindly join us on stage and deliver the keynote address as well. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. May I now request ma'am to kindly deliver the keynote address.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you. I had specifically said that I would not be speaking today. that's why we have the galaxy of very well achieved women from different fields. And on my personal behalf and on behalf of everybody here, I'd like to thank each one of you and welcome you to the Indian Maritime University on the occasion of International Women's Day. So what happens is the WhatsApp is filled with Happy Women's Day, and it should not be directed only at women, right? It should be. In fact, we tried to get somebody from the other gender also, and the person he had some other work. Otherwise, we said we need a representation because it is sensitization as much for the women, for the men, as empowerment for the women. Just a few words. I remember my mind goes back to 1984 when I entered the Indian Civil Service. The women who entered the civil service in the 60s were the trailblazers. They had to fight for everything. They had to fight for their place. They had to fight for their eligibility itself. If you go back even further, the first Indian Foreign Service officer in 1951, she was actually from South India, from Chennai or from Madras or Kerala. And she was told she can't be in the Indian Foreign Service because they don't allow women. And she had to fight. And when she got married, the rule was that if you got married as a diplomat, you quit. And she had to fight. So there has been a lot of people who have fought in the preceding decades for us to be able to enjoy what we have today. So in 1984, coming back to that story, one of the key challenges, and this lasted for another 10, 20 years at least, was you go to a field office, and I'm sure Reshma faces it from time to time, there is no toilet. So, today's world is not like that, and I would like some of you to actually think back, ask your mother or ask people who started working in those years as to, I was asked what was the biggest challenge. I didn't find work a challenge. I didn't find the superiors a challenge. Some of them were, but not finding a toilet, especially when you are touring into the hinterland of the country, was a big challenge. That has changed. A lot has changed. The women's position, the women's respect for women, their empowerment, a lot has been done. But like Robert Frost said, miles to go before we sleep, right? And that's a good phrase to remember. But we need to be thankful for all those who went before us, fought their way, and led the path for us. And best wishes to all of you, especially girls and boys, who will be leading the way for your peers and your next generation in the future. I think we will look forward to the conversation with the panelists here. They're experts in their own field. The introduction that was given of them was very brief. If you hear them, you'll see what they have achieved in their life and against what odds, adversities. But they will also share with you the encouragement they received from sometimes unexpected quarters too. Each one of us has done that. So thank you. Have a wonderful session and also a wonderful day. And let's hope that the status, the prestige, and the power of the women increases as much and equals the men. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Your words on today's reality and how far women have come truly inspired us and resonates with us. Now, allow me the privilege of introducing the chief guest for the day, Ms. Mrunalini D., a gold medalist in MBA, International Transportation and Logistics, an alumna from our very own university. She has constantly demonstrated academic excellence and a forward-thinking approach to the maritime sector. A Rajya Puraskar awardee of the Bharat Scout and Guides, her leadership and commitment to environmental services have been evident from a young age. Her work spans sustainability research, innovation in waste management solutions, and contribution to digital transformation in the shipping industry. Currently, serving as a functional consultant at Infosys, she plays a key role in enabling sustainable and technology-driven solutions for global maritime clients. It is my honor to invite our chief guest to deliver the inaugural address. Ma'am, please.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. How are you all feeling today? Thank you for having me here. Firstly, I'd like to thank Malini ma'am for believing in me. This is not the first opportunity that you had given me, ma'am. You had given me so many opportunities, and I'm so grateful for all the trust and confidence that you have placed in me. Thank you to my esteemed professors. They had always been my anchors throughout the journey. They are, and I believe they will be my anchors throughout my personal and career-oriented journey. And I'd also I'd also like to thank all the students for having me here as a chief guest. Standing here in IMU, it feels like homecoming. It is indeed a blessing to be here, because years ago I was sitting in these classrooms taking notes, chasing grades, building dreams that I wasn't very sure I was capable of achieving. But standing here today feels like a privilege. And I don't know, it still feels like a dream. I'm so overwhelmed. And today's theme, collective responsibility for lasting equality, it's a very powerful theme, because equality, as we say, is easy to applaud, but it is very difficult to practice. It is easy to post about empowerment in social media, but it is difficult to create it. And lasting equality doesn't come from one speech. It comes from daily choices. And responsibility, when shared together, becomes transformation. The first responsibility is ourselves. Because talking about systems and policies, more than talking about these policies, it is very important to be responsible ourselves. Because we always complain the barriers coming from outside, but what I feel is a barrier is that silent voice that whispers. I have personally felt it even today, even in these days I hear it. Don't be too ambitious. Don't speak too much. Don't aim for too much. These voices are something that are the barriers that we face. And being a woman in maritime and logistics, I've been in meeting rooms surrounded by men, and I was left with only two choices, either to shrink or to strengthen. I chose to strengthen, because what I feel is confidence is not built when everybody agrees with you. It is built when you stand tall, even when nobody is agreeing with your thoughts. And a bit of a personal reflection, there have been nights in my MBA where exhaustion felt louder than ambition. Excellence felt intimidating. And that is when I realized something life-changing. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the movement despite fear. And gold medals, what I feel, is not achieved on stage. And nobody can succeed alone. It is the professors who had encouraged her, peers who respected her, women raised not alone. It is her parents who had supported her, friends who stood by her when she felt so low. Believe me when I say this, I'm not saying this because I'm here in IMU, but before IMU, I had zero confidence. I did not choose IMU chose me. When I had nothing to do, it chose me. I'm here right now in front of you. And I don't think it's because I did it, it is because everybody around me helped me achieve this. And that is what I feel is collective responsibility. Equality, what I feel, is not a woman's issue. Let me say this clearly. Equality is not a woman's issue. It is leadership standard. It is not about giving women extra advantages. It is about breaking unnecessary barriers that they have. Because talent is universal. Opportunities must be too. When equality depends on women fighting for it, it is going to be slow. When equality becomes everyone's responsibility, it is going to be unstoppable. To the young men here, you're not spectators. You are our partners in progress. The future organizations that you will lead is going to be diverse. Your leadership will not be tested by how you manage similarity, but how you respect the differences. If you see bias, question it. If you see silence, invite voices. And if you see talent, amplify it. Allyship is not sympathy, it is action. To the young women here, never confuse humility with invisibility. You need not be louder than everyone, but you must be clear about your value. Your competence should be so strong that bias becomes irrelevant. Build credibility so solid that doubts dissolve. And remember, do not shrink your dreams to match society's comfort. Expand your capacity to match your dreams. Why lasting matters? Because temporary inclusion is easy. Symbolic representation is easy. But lasting equality is very difficult because it requires fair pay, fair recognition, fair opportunities, and equal accountability. It requires uncomfortable conversations. It requires correcting biases even when it is very subtle. It requires consistency, not convenience. If equality is practiced only when it is comfortable, it will never be lasting. In maritime, the ocean does not ask your gender, it responds to your preparation. Ships do not move because of identity, they move because of engineering, precision, and teamwork. Similarly, progress does not move because of labels, it moves because of competence and collaboration. If India wants to be a global maritime leader, we cannot afford to underutilize half our talent. Equality is not social generosity, it is national strategy. Your responsibility starts now. Do not wait for a leadership role to practice it. Start in your classrooms, in your projects, in internships. If someone is interrupted, return the floor. If someone is overlooked, acknowledge their work. If someone is underestimated, stand by merit. Small actions build powerful cultures, and cultures shape future. Let me leave you with this. Do not ask, is the system equal? Ask, am I contributing to equality? Do not ask, who will fix this? Ask, how can I fix this? What is my role in fixing the issue? Because lasting equality will not be built by policies alone. It will be built by people. People who choose fairness. People who choose courage. People who choose integrity. Break biases within yourself. Build inclusion around you. And lead with values wherever life takes you. The next decade of India's maritime growth will not be only by ports and policies. It will be defined by the character of you professionals walking out of this campus. May you not just chase success, may you build significance. May you not just rise, may you lift. Thank you, Jai Hind. And one last thing, I'd like to introduce you to my mom sitting here. It's a proud moment for me. I always carried this guilt because she was unable to physically witness me receiving the gold medal from Draupadi ji because of some security reasons, but here she is. I bought her purposely, and I'm so happy that she is here with me, and she is the reason I have become this woman today. And all the pride I'd like to dedicate it to her, my mom, the warrior. Thank you. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your experience with us. It definitely strikes a chord in our hearts. It is quite endearing and inspiring to hear the live experience of a proud IMU alumna. Now I kindly request all the dignitaries on the stage to occupy the front row in the auditorium. Now, before we move into the panel discussion, I would like to invite everyone here to witness a short promotional film prepared by IMU Chennai. I kindly request the tech team to relay the same.
We now move on to the heart of today's event, our panel discussion. When we speak of collective responsibility, we are challenging three assumptions: that equality is a woman's issue, that policies alone can solve structural imbalance, that representation automatically ensures inclusivity. Lasting equality demands institutional courage, male allyship, transparent system, accountability mechanism, and most importantly, cultural transformation. To explore what collective responsibility truly means in practice, we are joined by three accomplished panelists whose journeys reflect leadership and change. Our first panelist is Ms. Reshma Nilofer Visalakshi, a distinguished maritime professional and trailblazer in the shipping industry. A member of the Nautical Institute and marine pilot at Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Port, she holds the historic distinction of being India's first and only woman marine pilot. With sailing experience at Mars and extensive expertise navigating vessels through the challenging river Hooghly, her journey reflects exceptional competence and perseverance. A recipient of the prestigious Nari Shakti Purushkar and Limca Book of Record holder, she is a strong advocate for occupational safety, diversity, and greater inclusion of women in the maritime sector. Our next panelist is Ms. Nafisa Moloboy, Managing Director of Moloboy Group of Companies and an alumna of Harvard University. With over a decade of leadership in the marine supply industry, she has played a pivotal role in strengthening and expanding her family's 125-year-old enterprise, transforming it into a trusted one-step solution for international maritime customers. Known for her strategic vision, practical leadership, and determination, she stands as an inspiring example of a woman successfully leading in a traditionally male-dominating field. Recognized for her contributions to the maritime industry, she was recently honored with the prestigious Maritime Standard Woman in Shipping Award in Dubai. Ma'am. Our final panelist is Ms. Anita Poldurai, a distinguished recipient of the prestigious Padma Shri with an exceptional 18-year international career. She has become the youngest captain of the Indian women basketball team at the age of 19 and went on to lead the nation with remarkable commitment and excellence. She has an astonishing 35 medals from her national matches, and apart from this, she holds several international acclaims. Her contributions to the sports have been recognized with the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Government of Tamil Nadu, an honorary doctorate, and the Outstanding Sportswoman Award, among several other honors. We are honored to have her join us on this panel discussion and look forward to her valuable insights and perspectives. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And moderating this dialogue is our student, Shruti Narsiman from final year BBA, representing the voice and perspective of the next generation at IMU. Shruti, please come up on the stage. Today's discussion will explore how institutions can remove invisible barriers, how leadership can embed equality in structure, how students can become agents of change, and how the maritime industry must evolve for inclusive growth. May I now request our moderator to commence the session.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. It is truly an honor and a delight to be the moderator of this panel discussion featuring such inspiring women from different walks of life. Before we start, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Indian Maritime University for providing me with this wonderful opportunity to interact with such a distinguished panel. International Women's Day, as we all know, is not just about celebration, it is about reflection, responsibility, and reform. And I think we should take this moment to, ask ourselves a very important question. How do we move on from, just having conversations about equality to actually creating systems that truly enable it? And today's panel discussion is going to answer just that. So we have such strong women who have pioneered their own paths. They have challenged so many conventions and demonstrated leadership in their respective fields. And true progress only happens when systems support inclusion, leaders advocate change, and individuals are actively recognizing bias and taking steps to overcome them. So we will be exploring these perspectives in 3 parts through this session. So our first challenge is the barriers that women face and how they can be challenged at different levels: institutional, organizational, and individual. To start off, my first question is to Ms. Reshma. Ma'am, as India's first female maritime pilot, you navigated a path that quite literally did not exist for women before. So what was the most significant unwritten rule that you had to overcome? And what can organizations today do to proactively remove such invisible barriers?
Thank you. To start with, the whole phrase of being the first and the only pilot. So I do like the first because, I worked really hard to get there. Like even Honorable ex-President Ramnath Kovind, while he was handing out the award to me, he was like, "You've cleared a forest for other women to follow." So being the first is nice to hear. It's got a ring to it, don't you think? But then being the only pilot is what hurts. I would really love to have female peers at work, have girly chats with my female colleagues. It's a thing of dreams for me. So as I navigate in the river Hooghly, which is one of the most treacherous and toughest pilotage waters in the world, it's a riverine pilot. The work hours are really taxing, not an easy task to board, disembark from ships by pilot ladders. This again, difficult both for men and women. I do it just the way any other male pilot would do. So I navigate ships and I navigate the culture of the entire industry by what I do. So the culture, I mean the whole experience of working with a woman and working under the command of a woman on a bridge. Something which not many captains, even today, are surprised when they see me arriving at the bridge and extending an arm to shake hands, and they're like, sometimes they are looking behind me thinking, maybe there's a male pilot coming now. Any minute someone else is coming. So answering your question, the most pervasive unwritten rule is the perfection penalty. So, being the only one or a first to do anything, you cannot just be plain good. You have to excel, you have to be flawless. That performance pressure is what's the unwritten rule, which is unfair to be put on, to have on any woman's shoulders. So I have this, I'm figuratively carrying a flag or bearing the flag for the entire womanhood at work, which is again not something I want to do. Every little mistake or the slightest slip up would be reflective of the entire community of women in maritime. So I think that is unfair for any woman to face. And for that, organizations should move from just accepting women or allowing the women to enter the industry, but because we are already here and breaking, I don't know, thousands of glass ceilings have already been broken, and we are now walking, treading over broken pieces of glass. So now, from moving from allowing women, we now have to empower them and design the pathways for success, for them to succeed, for which we need systematic and streamlined mentorships, where every female student is guided by a senior from the industry who is also trained and evaluated for trainees' retention in the industry and also for their career progression. So there has to be someone who will hold hands and bring them all the way to success. That way, what happens is making gender neutral workspaces and progression becomes a KPI for the whole organization, not just for one woman, but for the entire generation which will follow. And the next girl after me is never left swimming in the sea, to be speaking figuratively. So for that, we need a culture of change. Our allies, the number of allies we have must increase, and women should stop doubting themselves and just try and see how far they can go, because invariably we will all be surprised at how far we can go and how hard we can work. It is just us who are limiting ourselves. I think there should be no limits.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your words do remind us that barriers are not, usually written into policies. It's completely in our assumptions and what we see through our eyes. And recognizing, of course, these barriers is the definite step to overcoming them. So to build up on your answer, I'd like to ask Ms. Nafiza, ma'am, what does inclusive leadership look like in a very high-pressure, hierarchical industry like the maritime industry, and how can leaders, consciously practice it?
First of all, good afternoon, good morning to all of you. It's a privilege to be here. Thank you, madam, for inviting me. I'm deeply grateful, and thank you, IMU, for this pleasure and privilege. Let me start with something really simple. Inclusive leadership is not a diversity initiative. It is not a CSR obligation. Neither is it an HR program. It is a performance strategy. The companies that will dominate the next decade will not be just innovative companies or companies that are hugely capitalized. It will be companies that drive inclusion, because inclusion drives clarity, it drives trust, execution, and ultimately results. When Satya Nadella took over Microsoft, he did not start with product innovation. Do you know what he started with? Any guesses from the audience? He started with change of culture. He is responsible for shifting Microsoft's organizational culture from a know-it-all culture to a learn-it-all culture. That is brilliant leadership. Again, that is inclusive leadership again. Inclusion is not about representation alone. It is about creating an environment where different voices are not just present, but are powerfully heard. Inclusive leaders must do three things, and that is something they need to do really well. Firstly, they need to listen beyond comfort. They invite disagreement. They reward constructive dissent. And it's not easy, ladies and gentlemen. Theoretically, it sounds very doable. But when you're sitting in that chair of leadership and you're inviting dissent, you're inviting criticism, you need to handle it and handle it well. That, my dear friends, is leadership. Second, they institutionalize fairness. Performance, promotion, remuneration must all depend exclusively on merit and only merit. Then it is connected with measurable performance, and then it is fairness which is institutionalized, and the culture of the organization becomes what we are trying to get at, inclusive in every meaning of the word. And the last thing is, an inclusive leader will model responsibility. Responsibility in the workplace goes beyond job description. It includes psychological safety. It includes ethical decision making. This is a very important attribute of leadership. And it includes taking ownership of culture, not just outsourcing it to HR. Do you know when Indra Nooyi took over PepsiCo, she did something very powerful. I've read her book from beginning to end. And it says she wrote a letter to the parents of all her senior executives, thanking them for raising exceptional leaders. You must have noticed I humbly suggested you give Madam a standing ovation, because I know what a mother does to make her children incredibly successful. And we can see it on either side of me. So inclusive leadership, my dear, is not just soft, it is disciplined. It requires courage like everything else. It is easy to lead people who think like you. It is far harder to lead and challenge people who are different and yet bring them into alignment. And let's be honest, performance in high pressure environment is when true culture of the organization is genuinely revealed. Do we default to hierarchy? Or do we default to collaboration? So when under pressure, is it all whatever my boss says, or is it that we collaborate and together we resolve the problem? Lastly, do we really silence the quiet voice, or do we encourage the quiet voice to be heard loud and clear? According to me, a true leader who really wants to bring about inclusive leadership in his or her organization, especially in the maritime world, where there is pressure every day and fires to be put out on a regular basis, I think this is very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. What you said makes complete sense. Inclusive leadership is obviously not just only representation. Leaders are supposed to create environments where every single individual feels respected, heard, and empowered to contribute. Only that can create a truly inclusive organization, as you said. Next, ma'am, I'd like to direct my question to you. Ma'am, from your experience, what everyday actions can individuals take to challenge the subtle biases that often go unnoticed, but they, actually impact society on a very grassroots level?
Elorukum vanakkam. Good morning to one and all. Being a player, it's very tough and sit and answer, because we always give an action on the court, not in the mic. But still, I'm learning on it. If any mistake is there, please accept with me. Okay, so what I understood in this question is equality in sports. See, in the sports, the most important person is a player, whether the player is a man or a woman. What matters is their skill, the performance, their talent. Because in sports, talent matters, not a gender. I'm going to share my experience, my sports experience in this question, because every year we have a nationals. So before nationals, we have 1 month camp. In that camp, boys were often given indoor courts. The girls used to practice, we are asked to practice in the outdoor courts. They will take it as easy and they will know that we will accept that. So we are accepted that, being a women team, we accept that. And we went for the nationals and we won the title. And that day, that time itself, I said them that we are not differentiating. So we are not thinking that whether the man or the woman, the same skill, the same action, the same performance, why you are differentiating. So that day onwards, that point onwards, the indoor courts equally given. The same thing in the nationals, every time, even men will get a higher cash amount and the women will get a lower cash price. Even I asked that, why this differentiation? And they said that, you have very few matches, and men have lots of competitions, lots of matches is there. I said, that is not my problem. Even I'm sweating. We are trained the same. We are sweat the same. We are sacrificing the same. Why this differentiation? So the power of asking the question, the right question, the next nationals, it was changed. So what I want to say in this, the simple way, same opportunities, same infrastructure, same facilities, same rewards, and the main thing is same respect. So let us evaluate the performance, because in sports and in life, talent matters, not a gender. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your lived experience speaks volumes about the subtle biases that exist in the industry. And as rightly outlined by our panelists, barriers does not just require individual action, it requires collective action and people who, actively promote inclusion and standing up against such barriers. So now we'll be shifting from, identifying these challenges to discussing how organizations and institutions can actively build inclusive environment. Reshma ma'am, many policies promote equality on paper, but implementation often falls short. So from your experience, what role should maritime training institutes and governing bodies play in ensuring that equality is built into the system rather than being, treated as a mere afterthought?
I have before me a maritime administrator who made great strides for us women in the maritime by releasing ma'am, you remember we had the release of gender equity policies for companies, for shipping companies. So from there, we didn't even have policies before. And ma'am put the first step in the right direction. And that again, ladies in the leadership positions, they will change things for generations to come. And that's what she did. And from there, I'll first go to governing bodies and then talk about MTIs and what they can do. So for governing bodies, inclusivity should move from recommendations to accreditation standards. So gender equity metrics will have to become, for example, female retention rates and reported incident resolutions will have to be a part of the resolution ratings of the organization and say a port, an organization or an MTI. So this should be part of the operational audits for people, for the organizations to prove themselves that they are not just inclusive, but they are actually seaworthy by contemporary standards. So gender inclusion and gender equity metrics should be part of their audits, is what I'm saying. Then the audits will make inclusivity as a habit, not just on paper. It will not be a checklist to just mark a tick off and just move away. That's for governing bodies. But for MTIs, again, I remember being on that side, wearing a uniform and being in these several coffee table discussions. So now gender inclusion has to move from coffee table empowerment and paper equity and equality to actual sizable action points. So for example, when I was in college, I hated to be the poster girl or the pretty face who will bring a bouquet and present it to a chief guest. I did not want to do that. And I remember we were 5 girls in the entire college, not another girl. There was no girls' hostel at that time. They had to make a separate corridor in the same boys' hostel and accommodate us. The only extra thing they did was attached bath, except that we were sitting and staying inside of a boys' hostel. So now, from there to now, I realize that we do the checklist part well. Now we have a mandatory gender sensitization course where some of you may have seen even my face flashing. It's part of the curriculum and it's mandatory, which is nice. Now, how about just doing a classroom lecture about gender inclusivity, and how about having an exercise where, so I was thinking of this last night. I thought of this idea last night. So to have, how would we like a group simulation or a command exercise? Let's say in a classroom there are female cadets, and you let the female cadet now plan a drill of a ship. So engine room firefighting, let's say, for example. So engine room fire in the purifier room, and the girl now becomes the leader, and she'll assume the position of a chief engineer, and she will conduct the drill with all the other participants in the room as her subordinates. That is when you sensitize the crowd to accept her leadership and her plan for the entire drill. This is one suggestion. And say, for example, there are no women in the room. Let's say there's a group of male officers who are doing a course after C. Now, just include in the plan, let's say they are planning a fire drill or a firefighting program, container fire on deck. Here's a male chief officer. He's told you have to conduct the firefighting exercise. And you, among your team, there is a female bosun, there is a male third officer, and then there is a girl cadet, a lady cadet who's on her period, and continue the drill. You will invariably see the conducting person would perhaps reduce the responsibilities of the girl who is on her period. But that's not how we work. I work as a pilot every day of my life with no breaks for menstrual cycle or cramping or you name it, anything. So similarly, the man now has to accept the idea that she's on her period, but she can be in your team, she can firefight, she can do all the responsibilities that you're assigning to her. So that is how you actively take part in, get it part of just the curriculum. Instead of doing a lecture, if you did this as an activity, then it becomes a standard. People will actually get used to working with a woman on board.
Once again, ma'am, thank you so much. I think I'll have to strongly agree with your point. It is very important that institutions take up the spearheading initiative to sensitize the crowd towards gender inclusivity, and equality should, be fostered right from the grassroots levels of training itself. Now, Ms. Nafisa.
Yeah, before you start,
Please
I just want to say, and I've been on many discussions, listened to many. I'm not in any academic field. I run a company. We are, in fact, in the space that we are, we we supply electronics, we do the bridge of the ship, we do life saving. So we are in supply, service, and manufacturing of LSA and training. So basically, it's a business. I have never, and I believe that in this particular space of supply, service, and manufacturing, I'm the only woman in the world who heads such a company. But I have never ever felt the difference or ever felt ostracized or ever felt made to feel that I'm different from the other men, you know, in the business. And I think in that respect, the business community perhaps is a lot more lenient and a lot more accommodating and a lot more generous than I think the other mainstream maritime activities. I really believe so. Thank you.
It's part of everyday life. Everyday sexism at work is something we manage every day. I see it every day.
I've never seen it.
I mean, as a pilot, if I went on board, there have been instances when captains of a ship are they find it so difficult to take the engine and orders from a woman. And they eventually ask very personal questions, which is absolutely unacceptable. They ask me about my experience. Sometimes, you know, when there are 6 foot high, tall male masters from European countries, I try to look for all the gray hair that I have over here and, you know, and then take them out and, you know, just to show that I also do have years of experience behind me, 6.5 years of training, and then 8 years of independent piloting. And now I'm here to pilot your ship and you still don't have that trust. They ask me, how long are you pilot? Are you married? So these are questions which come out of insecurity. So like you said, I mean, the business community is definitely, never. But I get it every day at work. And that is why I'm saying that we should not get it. And actually getting those goals of the gender sensitization courses in practice and do it like an exercise, mock drills, those will help more to get it into the system.
Or they can all the women here can join business.
That makes complete sense.
Business is something you have to start yourself. Entrepreneurship.
Mine too, ma'am. Please take mine.
That's employment. The difference between employment and business.
Moving on to our next question. Ma'am, you have observed global standards. So I'd like to ask you, what is one best international practice in workplace inclusion that Indian maritime firms should urgently implement?
Okay, so when I got this question, I pondered on what kind of a reply I would give. There was a lot of things on STCW, etc. And I said, too technical for an audience full of students, such bright brains, they probably know more than I do. So I'm going to give you an unconventional reply. I think that one of the best international practices to adopt is the creation of a speak up or just culture. Learn to speak up. Thank you. Thank you. Learn to speak up. And I think this ability to be able to speak up is very important. Anyone, regardless of rank, should be allowed to raise a concern, question a decision, or report a mistake without fear of backlash or being ostracized or being victimized. Remember, my dear friends, culture does not drift upward. It decays downward. So the ability to speak up is an important principle to ensure international practice of safety, and so that all the ships, you really have an inclusive methodology which actually translates into safety. I'm going to tell you a small story about Priyanka Chopra. I know you people are young, and a lot of you must be impressed with Priyanka Chopra. So hear what she went through and how her parents allowing her to just speak up, if you remember the words I used, just speak up, have impacted her so deeply, and she recalls and recounts this instance even today in her podcasts and in her interviews. So as you know, Priyanka Chopra came from an army background. Her father was a major and her mother was a captain. And they would shift from place to place as is the norm. So one day they shifted to this new place and they were going to stay in the barracks. And outside every barrack, as you know, there is a nameplate with the name of the person living inside. And so it was written, Major Ashok Kumar Chopra and Captain Madhu Chopra. So Priyanka Chopra turns around and asks her parents. Now this is what I call speak up. She was in kindergarten class and she asks her parents, where do I live? And they said, you live here, obviously with us. And then she turned around and said, but then why isn't my name on the nameplate? Now an ordinary parent would probably say, oh, come on, you're our daughter and you're part of the family and blah, blah, blah. But see what her father did. And to me, that is truly reflective of inclusive leadership, of what I spoke before. Her father said, you're absolutely right. He took down the nameplate and brought a new nameplate. And the new nameplate said, Major Ashok Kumar Chopra, Captain Madhu Chopra, and Priyanka Mimi Chopra KGB. And if you are wondering what KGB stands for, Kindergarten Class B. So this is the power of speaking up and being listened to. Starts from childhood, and now we all know what a success story Priyanka Chopra is. Let me also tell you that in the maritime industry, many an accident has happened because somebody down the line did not speak up when they saw danger or when they saw non-conformity or when they spotted something that shouldn't be there. Therefore, speak up sounds simple. Oh, come on, we all know we have to speak up. But how many of us really practice it from our hearts? I am told that hierarchical silence has been linked to many maritime accidents. And shipping is one of the most hierarchical industries. I agree, respect for rank is necessary for discipline and safety. You know, especially in the Navy, you have the admiral, the rear admiral, and it goes down. On the ship, you have the captain, and so on. Hierarchy is important, but the crew should be encouraged to speak up about all deficiencies and speak up without hesitation. I want to give an example of a vessel. I was reading about it when I was researching my topic. In the Express Samina, this incident occurred on the 26th of September 2000, so it's not that far away. 81 people lost their lives. It was a passenger ferry and it went straight into the rocks in Paros in the Aegean Sea. 81 people, as I said, lost their lives. Now, why did this happen? Not because the ship lacked technology. But do you know why did it happen? Because somebody kept quiet when they saw the rocks, thinking it is not their jurisdiction to speak up and tell a revered person like the captain what they see. So it happened due to human vigilance which failed. So therefore, it sounds simple, but it's a very intrinsic part of maritime safety. And not only maritime safety, I urge all you youngsters, you have your whole life ahead of you. You are going to be the future of India. Maybe somebody from within you will be the next CM of Tamil Nadu or the next Prime Minister of India. Learn to speak up. Speak loudly, speak clearly, and speak with conviction. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. People often equate, being outspoken and speaking up as disobedience. But I think it's, high time we change that perspective and start speaking up for ourselves and for the society as a whole.
It's not disobedient. When you're convinced about something with conviction and you see that something is going to make a difference, speak up. So what will happen? Somebody will say, oh, no, it doesn't matter. Okay, but you've done your role. I see so many women, especially in my own organization. We employ 330 people. Sadly, about 10-15% are women. I feel really bad about it. And some of them have the most brilliant ideas. But when we are sitting in a round table conference, I'll see all the men, especially the salespeople, go, yap, 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 yap. No offense to men. I do not believe in gender differentiation. But there'll be a woman in some small corner with a brilliant idea, and she opens her mouth so slowly, so softly, it's almost lost. And because I'm so sensitive to it, if I feel there is merit, I will tell her, please come in the center of the room and speak. I write a lot on LinkedIn. One of my posts is on this, about women, when they have a point, make it with confidence and make it loud and clear. The world will listen, including the men.
We'll be sure to remember that, ma'am. Thank you so much. Ma'am, in sports, team success depends on, mutual respect and support between the team members. But how can individuals translate or adopt these sportsmanship values to ensure there is fair treatment regardless of gender?
Again, it's very tough to answer. Okay. Again, same thing. I can't play, but it's...
Speaking better than your playing.
Thank you. Okay, so in sports, many people who won't speak directly. Okay, they will always hide them inside. I want to share my experience. Okay, when I was 19 years old, and I was the captain of the Indian team, senior Indian women team, and many people was, they doubted me that whether I can handle the team or not, because I was too young. Because my senior player was 32 years old. She was a very senior most player. And she was also seeing like me, like, what? She is a captain? And I was like, I didn't argue. I didn't speak anything. I was very calm and I'm seeing it. And being a team game, it's very tough. Individual game is something is different, but the team game is all the 12 has to be in the same line, and especially who's playing inside 5 players has to be in the same line to win the championship. So I was organizing very well in the tournament side and in the team activities and in everything. And slowly that senior player came to me and she was telling that, and she gave a kiss to me, and she was telling that you are very good handling the team and you are going to rock in the basketball field. So that's the thing was, it's an important lesson for me in my life, because whenever the problem, when someone is doubting me, just calm down and just focus on your work. No need to speak. You just, with your action, with your performance, you can tell them everything. And the same thing in the sports field, the most important problem is the injury. Even I had a major injury of my knees. 3 surgery was happened, ACL surgery. And the same question mark was there, because in my time, when I was 15 years, I got a surgery. That time, what is ACL? I don't know anything. They said that you have to go for the operation, because without operation, you can't play, because that was my peak performance. And everyone saying to me, near to me, that only if it is boy, he can come up, otherwise woman is very tough to come. And the same thing, I was like smiled and I was very calm, and I was asking my dad, because dad is a police constable and he doesn't know the knowledge of the sports. And mom is a housewife, and she was telling that no operation, because women, you have long way, marriage, and the children. No, she said. I was begging her, mom, please, please, please. Then she said, okay. And my father is a big supporter to me. And my friends all supported with the money contribution. And my coach helped me, and I went for the surgery. I did a proper rehabilitation, and within a 6 months, I come back what before, I played so strong, and everyone was praising me that, and everyone started telling that you are the example for this, because everyone saying that women is not possible, especially the girls. After operation, no one was there to compete in the international competition. So I was the starting stage of it. So I used to say that what so many hidden bias, so many, the gender variation, equality, so many things are there, but no need to speak. Just your focus on your work, commitment, discipline, that is enough. Your action will show the result, and the respect will automatically will come to you. So that is my thing, and I played for 18 years after my, 3 surgeries. Not even men played that much long career, and I'm the only one played for 9 Asian Championship, and lots of record I did. So there is no gender, there is no excuse. Only thing I want to say to you is, please don't ask excuse. What you have, just work on it. If something is not sitting you, just leave it. Move to the next way. And every time there is no destination. You have to search a way and move forward. All the best.
Once again, thank you so much, ma'am. That was such a beautiful and vivid example of how support is very crucial to, moving forward in life overall. Have to agree with that. Yes, ma'am. So we can, conclude by saying that institutions build strong frameworks, and organizations should obviously adopt best practices. When these factors work together, inclusive culture begins to take shape. Now we'll be, focusing on something slightly different. How do we sustain the equality and empower the future generations, not just right now, for years to come? So, Ms. Reshma, once again, you have navigated a very traditionally male-dominated field. And what is one structural reform you believe that every maritime organization must adopt immediately to ensure gender equity and equality for years to come?
Well, now we are in the age of data and data analytics. So I think standardization and data-driven promotions, both on board in the maritime industry, this should be the reform to go. Moving forward, because in the global south, if you see, there's a dearth of female leadership. Like ma'am was saying, she's the only one in the world who owns a business now, and I'm the only woman pilot. We don't want to be the only, so there's a dearth of women in leadership positions, in boardroom roles, who can, and those are the positions who can make a change for other generations. Not just for one woman, but for generations to come. So for that, there's also been, very recently, like 2-3 days back, I was seeing our Indian representation to the IMO. And it's a board, it's a room full of men, even at the IMO, even today, from the global south specifically. So I'm saying that our representation should not be zero. The female perspective matters. And career progression for aspiring women should be influenced only by merit, like she has already mentioned. Now, current scenario is that it's usually influenced by an old boys club or an old men's network who think of which woman would be the best fit. She will fit in and adjust, and she will get drowned in the crowd. We do not want women to blend in and become one with the boys. I don't want to be part of the boys' league. I want to stand out. I want to bring my diversity, and I think that my diversity matters. My perspective matters. So for that, we need to embrace all the diversity which is in the room. So women are overlooked this way. And we need to replace this with clearer, transparent performance data. And the system should be built only on hard evidence rather than track records. Because that personality fit does not work. Women do not personality fit into roles. And also we don't have any women yet. in those boardroom in boardroom positions. So for that, gender bias will have no place to hide if we bring in the actual talent. My feminism guru is actually my father. And you know how our arguments are? He is a strong advocate of positive action, affirmative action. So he says it's not to be called reservation, Reshma. It's called positive affirmative action, to have reserved seats for women. For example, in the maritime industry, he says, you say merit, merit, I don't follow all this. I don't think it's right. Because where is the level playing field for a girl in a village to come to even think of having a career in the maritime industry? There is not even, there's no awareness also. So where is the ground rules? Ground zero is not there for them. So then only if you put a reservation there, then he says, okay, now you've bring. So just like the little wooden stool here. The others found it inconvenient, the taller people, but they just moved it aside and they spoke. And when a woman or a shorter person, shorties like me, when we need it, we have it there and we would like to use it. And for a, let's say if you bring in a disabled person or a specially abled person, they would need a higher ground. That is what is reservation. So we need reservation for women in boardrooms, because they will change things for generations. Like our Malini ma'am, she did that for us. So many companies today have those policy guidelines as a guideline for company procedures which were absent. So now that is where equity has to be achieved. And we need the women to come in organizations and lead organizations.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That makes a lot of sense. So, Ms. Nafiza, how can organizations create a culture where responsibility is shared across all levels, not just limited to, leadership roles or HR people? It's not the responsibility of just one particular person, How can we share it across all levels?
One of the biggest misconceptions, we are still talking of inclusion, right? So one of the biggest misconceptions about inclusion is that it is the responsibility either of the HR department or the top management. And that is an absolute myth and is untrue. In reality, inclusion is actually a daily operational behavior. It is not a policy document. Like today, I'm sitting on the stage. The minute she felt a little bit of hesitation, because her expertise and her domain is the courts. It's not a stage. But the minute she felt a little bit, if somebody just reached out to her and told her, you're doing superb, it gives the strength that is needed. And again, it is not limited to just an HR policy or to top management. Going out of the way at every strata, at every segment, and regardless of whether it is a man or a woman. My argument with the Vista team has always been, why do you keep saying women, women, women? Do you think boys don't feel shy? Boys don't feel, or men don't feel singled out? I'm married to a husband who's extremely shy. He's extremely introverted. And he would need as much help as maybe somebody, as another woman in the room. It is not gender specific. It is person specific. It is personality specific. And by those who are gifted with the gift of the gab, if you like, or with boldness and confidence, it is your moral bounden duty to go across and help somebody else or motivate. I won't even use the word help. Just give us a little bit of that finger to hold on to see that person through. It really makes a difference. But however, let's come to the topic. I should restrict to what she's asked me. And again, when I did a little bit of research, I found that there were a few steps to make sure that inclusion is there in every segment and not just parked at the top or with the HR. The first step, I believe, is clarity of expectation. Every employee, whether onshore or officers at sea or senior management, must understand that respectful conduct and professional behavior are an integral part of the job description. We need to understand that this is as important as our technical qualifications. Inclusion is not an optional virtue. It is a professional standard. The second thing that I believe, so first is you're very clear that being inclusive, listening to the person with a quieter voice, having the gumption to stand up when you see something wrong and not be victimized, not be ostracized, that is organizational culture, and it is clearly spelled out from top to bottom, percolating every segment, every level. Secondly, the second step is to embed inclusion into operational processes. Now, for example, on a vessel, you have safety briefings regularly. If in these safety briefings, you also incorporate the principles of inclusion, of respect, of communication, like she said, having a mock drill, etc. So it's at an operational level where every time you are reinforcing this concept, that's when it becomes a reality, not when it is sitting in an HR document or sitting on the managing director's table. When inclusion is another very important thing, and I linked it back to the passenger ferry that hit those rocks. When inclusion is linked to safety culture, it becomes more meaningful. If that person on the watch had said that I can see the rocks, that ship would not have passenger ferry would not have capsized, 81 people would not have lost their lives. So my reply to the previous question, just speak up, is summed up in this, that when you link it with safety, it becomes even more meaningful. And in maritime, it is communication failures that actually lead to accidents. Also, peer accountability is important. When your peers are telling you that, yes, we must be inclusive, we must communicate, etc., then again, that concept becomes part of the culture. I think basically the last thing which I hate, but actually is true, when organizations reward and sponsor this kind of teamwork and inclusion, it works wonderful. Money makes the mare go. So if you say the team that is most inclusive, etc., that's a great motivator. I run a company, as I said. I have 350 people working for me. I cannot tell you the magic of money. You cannot underestimate it ever. But again, I always believe that individual performances must be recognized, but up to a limit. It is collaborative leadership that will really take an organization through. I think that's what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ms. Anita, from your experience, what can young women entering male-dominated fields practice to build both confidence and credibility?
Okay, in many fields, still the male-dominating things are there. In my experience, I played for Indian team till 2018. After that, my second maternity, so I given a break. Yeah, so after that, I started, last 2 years back, I started giving coaching. So I was working in railways, so I was asking them, I will take care of the senior railway team. And they said, a secretary was telling to me, you are a woman, you have 2 kids, how you will come for the camp? And I said, what? He said that again, you are a woman, so you have to take care of your children. I said, no, what? Men don't have responsibility. Even the men also take care of the children, right? So you have the children, you also have to take care of your children. So how you can tell like this way? And he felt something bad on it. The next time he said, whether you can come. So first you give a chance then you ask the questions. So my intention was for the women team, the women coaches has to be there because lots of coaches are doing, only thing is we don't have space. And I used to tell my women colleagues, that you have to go and ask. Without asking what your ma'am said, you have to ask in the right time. For that, you have to wait it. So I used to was silent. Every time I was very, very silent. But when the time was there, I will go and ask it. So I was telling my colleagues, you have to ask. So when I asked, then I got an opportunity to take the team. And last 3 years, we are the champion of it. And what I feel is, nowadays, the women are doing excellent in the sports. Now we are dominating actually in the sports. Three things, most important thing is, one is you have to be strong in skills, and the second is discipline, and the third is believe in yourself. The skills is every day it's changing, When I started my basketball career, it was something is different. Now, when I'm coaching the young kids, it's completely different. So every day you have to update. It's not that I studied earlier, so that is the same format. No. So every day you have to learn it. And the next is discipline. The discipline is, the commitment, the focus, the regular practice. Because in the sports, the respect, it not given easily. You have to earn through your hard work and the consistency. The next most important thing, which I, believe in yourself. See, I was playing many years, but one thing was missing out. That is my reward. Okay, so when 2014 I was eligible for the Arjuna Award, which I was the captain of the Indian team that time, but I didn't recognize that year. So I said, it's okay. My attitude was every time it's okay. Next time I will get it. I was keep on playing on it. And the women have the most responsible thing is marriage. The next is motherhood job. So everyone again same question it. So you can't get in your reward. 100% after marriage, after children, not possible to play. And when the starting you are showing that Mary Kom, she is my inspiration. She can play it, why not me? So, after my son, within a month, I started exercising. And same thing, society was telling lots of negative thoughts, how you are leaving the small children. Like I said, for a 1 hour, I will do for myself. So I believe in myself. So 1 hour I started my exercises. And within 6 months, I reduced my weight without any diet. I'm doing my part, feeding part. I was strict on it that 1 year I will feed for my baby. So without any diet, with my proper exercises, I reduced my weight. And after 8 months, I carry my baby and I went for the international tournament. I was the captain of the team and we did a good result on that. So now after me, and now so many girls have started coming after the maternity side. So when you are believing yourself, 100% you can do it. And the main thing is Arjuna Award. So I was keep on playing after maternity for 6 years. And until now, I didn't get the Arjuna Award, but the miracle was, thank you. Yes, so it's like the God will say that if you hard work and if you have the patience, you will get in a more thing. So I didn't ask any excuses. I was keep on my focus. I love my basketball game. I was keep on going the one day, the Patam Shri, which is the higher award, Arjuna Award. So I got the Patam Shri in 2021. So believe in yourself. 100% you will get it. And again, I'm saying, respect will come, your hard work and your confidence, not from anything else. So wish you all the best to everyone. Please, again, I'm telling, don't ask excuses, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am. And with that, we'll be concluding the panel discussion.
Can I add one comment? So there are two people in the room who got awards from the president. And just like she said, when I applied so the Nari Shakti Puraskar did not come just like that from the sky as well. When I was wanting to fill up the form, there was an ad in the paper. I went to my boss and I said, sir, I think I'm the first and the only one. And I've qualified last year. Can we apply? So because I'm a government employee, it has to go through process. There's a proper channel. So my boss says, if I have to say in Tamil, இதெல்லாம் நம்மளுக்குலாம் கிடைக்காதுமா சாதாரண மனுஷங்களுக்கு இதெல்லாம் கிடைக்காது. So he said he meant that normal, general public cannot have aspirations to such awards. These things don't come to normal people. You have to be like some celebrity to, get this. And then I said, sir, what's the harm in trying? I don't mind, if I don't get it, but I have nothing to lose. So then he was supportive to send the application through, and it went around in circles in my organization. And it did not reach on time. My application did not reach on time. The red tapeism is really, it delays and delays and delays. And finally, you know what I did? I filled up my own nomination paper, personal one, without anybody's recommendations. I wrote one separate one myself, went to DTDC courier. I told them, do you have a 1 day pakka? Because the time now was going and these people. So I said, 1 day confirmed delivery. So they said, yes, we have a first something. So I said, okay, how much is that? Filled up the form, sent it. And you know what? The call was supposed to come through departments, through the ministry. However, I got my phone call on my personal number, and I happened to be in the office in front of that officer, the same officer who said, 2 people like you and me get awards. So I was sitting there and I had the 011 landline number. I said, sir, I think, because earlier on the Intelligence Bureau checks up on you when you're in consideration for such awards. So the IB has called me once already, and they said, you are one among many people who are being considered. So I know that if there is a 011 phone number, I should answer. So I said, sir, can you excuse me? I went out, got the news, came back inside and said, sir, you're the first one to know, not even my parents, and I'm getting the award. So ask and you shall receive. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to preach here, but ask and you shall receive. That is what she also said. And it has worked for us, and it would work for anyone. And about the incident, for those of you who don't know, the helmsman actually saw a rock right ahead, and the helmsman did not feel it. He feel that he should speak up and inform some the pilot is there, the captain is there. I'm just a helmsman, I should not speak up. That's what happened. And then they got into the incident where they lost so many lives. Yes, and just one single question. Sir, I think it can be wrong. It can be wrong. No, if you could be wrong as well. I mean, you could raise a question and you could be wrong, but still, just ask.
Wonderful. So with that, we will be concluding today's panel discussion. And as rightly outlined by our wonderful panelists, 3 key insights stand out to me. One is that invisible barriers must be recognized and removed with conviction, as ma'am rightfully put across. And inclusive leadership and commitment should start right from the grassroots level at places like our university, where we shape the future generation. And individual actions and accountability is very essential to sustain equality and equity. So when these 3 work together, we will be, creating a new lived reality for the generations to come. So on behalf of the Indian Maritime University, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the panelists and to everybody present here today. I hope that you all were able to draw wonderful insights from their lived experiences. And I hope that, you will walk out of this room one step more progressive than you were when you came in. Thank you, everybody. Happy International Women's Day.
With one thing, I was at JSW recently, and I know the Jindals personally. They're good friends. Their children are good friends of my children. And it was written, O.P. Jindal says this: everywhere I saw everywhere there were walls that others saw, I saw doors. Let that be your, your inspiration and your guiding light. Wherever you see walls, think of them as doors. Open them and walk inside. And nothing but success, success, and success awaits you if you have the confidence and if you have the courage and the conviction in yourself. All the best to these very dynamic, gorgeous-looking students. You are going to be the future of India, and I look forward to having one of you in top places and looking up and saying, I remember him or her in the audience. It will make all 3 of us feel wonderful, and of course the university. All the best.
Thank you to our panel for the insightful perspectives. To move us from discussion to action, please join me in welcoming our motivational speaker, Ms. Sridevi Ramesh. With 29 years of industry experience, including 25 years in the IT sector with esteemed organizations such as Infosys and PayPal, she has led large teams and strategic initiatives across delivery and program management. Transitioning into entrepreneurship, she now dedicates herself to empowering young minds and working women through impactful training in corporate etiquette, professional communication, and personal branding at Champion Women. We are delighted to welcome her and look forward to her perspective. Ma'am.
So, can I use this mic? Hello, hello. Okay. So, very good afternoon to everyone. So, I've been said 15 to 20 minutes, ma'am. We are already running late, but you know what? Since the time I came here, listening to Mrinalini, Malini ma'am, Nilofer, I think Anita ma'am, and Nafisa ma'am, right? Do you guys need more motivation? You know? So this was like, I was saying, okay, everything that I wanted to say, yes, people here have said it, right? So it just means that every woman thinks alike, right? So let me share a little bit of what I wanted to have and maybe a little bit of takeaways for each of you. So I stand here before you representing an organization called Champion Women, where we believe that when you raise a woman, she raises the nation, right? You teach a woman and she raises a nation. Because a woman, by nature, has those qualities of empathy, of care. Look at your moms, your grandmoms, or even you, right? Who are the best in balancing things at home, at work, ensuring that, nobody is hurt. We want the best output, everything there, right? So we believe that these qualities in a woman need to be nurtured, okay? I will share a little bit of my journey today because what I wanted to talk is around the theme of breaking boundaries and building a better future. So how we as men and women, as boys and girls, can do this together, right? So I started my career way back in 1995. Okay, so I was in IT. I started my career in 1995. So I aspired to be a doctor. My dad was in the army, so I fell in love with Armed Forces Medical College. But unfortunately, I didn't make the cut. Maybe because I was destined for IT. So I took life in my stride, and I moved on to the line of computers. So I studied zoology, but then I fell in love with computers. And I said, okay, this is going to be my career. So today, right, women of today have far more opportunities, far more organizations that think about inclusivity, When way back in 1995, it was never a thing, right? So when I had my first child, right, so I was a trainee at that point in time. So it was just a 84-day maternity leave, right? So I was a trainee, so I had to go back to work, right? Because we do come from families where, we need to work, right? So was it a tough decision? Yes, it was, okay? But I knew I had to do it. So when you really want to do something, right, the world conspires to bring some people into your life. So my husband was working, my dad was working, my mom was working, my in-laws were too old to take care of my daughter. Then we managed somehow, right? My aunt used to come, then whoever comes first used to relieve my aunt. So that's how my life went on. The second part of it, I was wanting, so I started my career with something called Fox Pro Clipper, and I moved on to Oracle. So I know I had to do a course, okay, in Oracle. But then all these classes used to be after work, 7 to 9 or 6 to 8. So there I was, those times, take the PTC bus, come back home with an 8-month baby who was just waiting to see me. She would cry, right? But then I know I had to go for the course, right? I could have said, no, let me not do it. But I said, let's do it. And that's how it was. I managed a 1-year course because of which I got, into larger companies like Infosys. And that's how, it kind of moved on, right? And then I realized that, okay, I'm into IT. Now I need to have a degree in computers, right? So then I said, okay, and I applied and I got into BITS Pilani's Masters of Software Systems, which was a distance education thing. So I said, okay, let me do it. So the day I appeared for my first semester exams, I got to know I was pregnant with the second child, okay? Then this is a choice. Now what do? There's an option to take a break. Should I take a break or should I move forward? I said, chalo, let's move forward. So my penultimate semester, I went into the hall to write as a 8 months pregnant lady, right? And you believe me, people around me were like really looking and they used to pause at the stomach. What the hell was happening, right? So I wrote my exam and finally the last exam, they changed the rule saying, you got to write it here, otherwise you need to move to Bombay or Delhi or somewhere and write it. I had no choice. So when I wrote it, my son was 11 days old. Was it difficult? As an 11-day-old mom or with an 11-day-old baby, it was very difficult. But I knew I wanted to achieve, so I had to go and write it. So it was very heart-wrenching to leave a baby behind because nobody feels like leaving an 11-day baby behind. But I did write it, and somehow I managed 8.2 CGPA for that entire course, right? So I've not done anything great, you ask me, right? In line with the topic, the first thing I would urge all of you, right? The boundaries are not outside. The boundaries are within you. Be aware of that first. Right? You all know this story about how elephants are trained, right? So the baby elephant is caught and they put a chain on it, right? It tries to move, shake, but it's not able to break. And eventually, when the elephant becomes big, you've seen maybe in circuses and temples, it's just a rope that's tied. Do you think the elephant cannot just pull that rope out and go? Does it do so? Why? Because it thinks that it's still the chain. So where is the barrier? Where is the boundary? Is it outside or is it inside? That's what I want each of you to see. And this is not just for the women. It's equally same for men, right? So first of all, break your own internal boundaries, right? Internal barriers, your subconscious biases, those invisible boundaries and barriers, you need to first recognize that you also think like that and break them, right? That is the very, very, very first step towards realizing what your own potential is. Okay. The second aspect is whatever I said about myself, right? It was my side of the story. But I couldn't have done it without my allies, male allies at home. So my dad was in the army. So right from childhood, that thought of speaking up, as ma'am said, right? Standing for what is right. If you think it's wrong, don't bother about who's in the place. Go speak it. Because your heart knows, your gut feel knows that what you want is the truth. Right? So that influence came from my dad as I was a child. So he was there to support me every step of the way in whatever I wanted. Second, my better half, my spouse, my husband. So I think without him, he has been the wind beneath my wings, right? So without him, I couldn't have accomplished what I have accomplished in my life so far, right? Every time I was in that guilt feel as a mom, he'll say, it's okay. The kids will realize we are doing it for them. Go ahead. I'm there. We'll take care, right? I will stand by for you. Don't bother about what people say, right? It was also like whether to travel on on-site assignments at that point. So I traveled during 9/11. I think you all know when the Twin Towers got crashed, right? So I'm alive because I visited 9/11 just a week before it got crashed, and not, it was just a week before it got crashed. So that led to a lot of situations like the tension going on now. So what started as a 1-month on-site assignment got stretched to a 6 months on-site assignment when my younger one was, I think, 8 months or 9 months old, right? So then I had my ally in my husband who said, it's okay, we'll manage. These are situations which are not in our control. And that kept me going. Every step of the way in my career, as I moved from a trainee to a lead, to a junior manager, to a senior manager, to a group manager, and almost like a delivery manager at Infosys, right? So every step of the way there, I have been very fortunate to have great bosses, great male allies as my team members. And many a times, women go through the self-doubt, right? I think one of, she mentioned, right? So if it's a guy, he will speak up. Then we always think, am I right, am I wrong, right? I have been fortunate to have great male mentors but I opened up and I asked them. I saw somebody successful, said, what do you think, sir? Why am I not yet there? And then he told me, Shri, you're really good at what do you do, but do you believe that you're good at what you do? And then I realized, even though I think I'm accomplished, I do have this self-doubt in me. He made me see the mirror. And from then on, I changed as a person, changed as an individual, changed as a manager. But for that, my male manager, mentor, helped me see that, right? So every step of the way, friends, nothing is accomplished if you are alone. You say one hand, you cannot clap. It takes 2 hands to clap equally to produce that right kind of clap, not a noise, not a light tap, right? So you need male allyship to partner if you need to take it to growth. And that's what your whole theme has been about, equality, right? If I've been in corporate, so I've realized that when women are managers, we tend to recruit more women on the team, right? We are able to understand, we are able to, she's smiling, so maybe yes, you have also faced it, right? So we tend, because we see in them what we have gone through, correct? So you need to be that person who not just grows, but are you paving the way, or are you with the people to take them along with you? That's what, you need to see, correct? And every step of the way, right, I would say, be very, very clear about what you want in your life. Because if your goals are clear and focused, that's what will allow you to say, I want to go this way. She was clear. She wanted to be the pilot. Nothing else would stop her from that, right? But if you don't have clarity about what you want to do, I'm sorry, the best speakers can come on the panel. You can have the greatest motivational speakers coming and talking to you, but nothing will happen. Because what you need to be clear about is where you want to reach in your life. So have that clarity, and that is what will take you wherever you want. Don't be ashamed about dreaming big. I would say that especially to girls, right? Don't be afraid to dream big. If you want to aspire to be something, the greatest in your profession, aspire. Whether it's going to happen or not, yes, you don't have control, but you have control over your efforts. First, you have control about your decision that you want to be there in that place, right? So don't clip your dreams. Don't expect permission from anyone to dream, right? The wings are yours, as they say. The sky belongs to everybody. Then why stop yourself? Give yourself permission first. Saying, I am clear, this is what I want to do. Dream big. Correct? Because today, the world needs more crazy dreamers. Right? People who, there's a quote, people who think they're crazy enough to change the world are those who actually change the world. Right? Have you ever thought of somebody like an Elon Musk? So many years back, he said, no, we have to expand the human consciousness. He's thinking of having stations in Mars and abroad. Correct? So have those kind of, blue shot projects in your mind, in your head. Dream big. That's what we really need, men and women. So equality and breaking barriers and boundaries is not something left only to women. Correct? Like she said, it also belongs to men. It also belongs to the society. And it also belongs to institutions like this. Right? Each of us has a role to play in how we want to determine how the future generation is going to be. Right? I think the lovely video of so many women who have broken those barriers, right? Each one of them had a male ally to support, to help take them there. So now, if you see, there's a statistics that it takes 16 generations to create you, right? So what are you doing to make those 16 previous generations of ancestors proud that you are here on this earth today? They have struggled so much, right? So many centuries back. Our grandparents maybe were here, they brought the life here. Our parents maybe are here, they've taken the life here. So what are you going to do? Are you going to take your life here or take it right there? Because you are the privileged people, right? Who have been given everything almost on a platter. So make use of all the opportunities that you can, especially I say to girls, right? Don't shy away. Don't be pressured to stop from doing what you really want to do, right? I want each one of you to understand that you have infinite, limitless potential within each of you. Because we are here to take the human race forward, not the women race or the male race forward. Right? And it is each one's responsibility to dream big and do the best that you can. Support others, take others along as you go on. Right? I have seen basically in corporate, right? If men are doing presentations, something is screwed up, they just go tell each other, guy, I think you sucked. Just do it better. But I've actually noticed in women, though we say women should support other women, unfortunately, many times it is women who pull other women down, right? When I know that I am not doing something right and you have seen it, women don't say that, right? And as a result, we don't grow. So support each other, women especially, support each other because we come from the same background, similar issues, similar, physical, biological concerns, everything we have. So be there for somebody, right? That's the best that you can do, right? I say this because I have been like a mentor to many women as well as men at work. There will be men who come and say, Shri, can I just, talk to you? I want to soundboard something, right? So being there for people, mentoring is not something just confined to men or women to women, right? Be there, and when you see that you have the potential to uplift the next person, that's when you feel the purpose of why you are born here, right? I may not win, but with my motivation, if you win, that's more happy for me, right? So, to break the boundaries, first break all your invisible barriers that need to come. Dream big, have goals. Don't let anyone curtail your wings. Support each other, whether it is men or women, right? Because we want the best for our institution, for our nation, right? We want to make our nation proud. We want to make our parents proud. We want to make our ancestors proud. So be there, support each other. Stand up for what you believe in, right? And just shoot and shine. Don't wait for anyone to say that, why are you doing this? Why, no. If somebody appreciates you, it doesn't matter. Somebody doesn't appreciate you, it doesn't matter, right? When you are focused on what you want, just go for it. And I am a firm believer that really when you conspire, when you think of something big, universe will definitely conspire to give it to you. And I'm a true example, because after 25 years of corporate, I wanted to come out to do something, which I felt is close to my heart and impactful. So coming from a regular middle-class family, it's not very easy to leave a very high-paying job, especially in companies like, PayPal. But I took a call, again, with the support of my family, because you cannot do it alone. And the day I put my papers, I didn't even realize that I would be talking on stages like this and many more stages. And that's where, the universe aligned me with the group I work with, Champion Women. So through our initiative, we've touched almost 8 lakh women across India. That's where I believe that for somebody who started, the career as an IT professional, to be part of something of a greater cause, I never thought things are possible. So dream, dream, dream. Everything is possible, right? For the men, be there as a support to the women in your family, women on your team, right? You need to be the ideal guys who go on to tell even your parents, it doesn't matter. I want my wife to work. It's okay if she earns more than me. I'm okay to step down from my career so that she has a better career, right? Think, those are the barriers that you need to break. Again, for all the women I told you, don't let anyone give you the permission to dream, because the wings are yours. You guys not just sail, but fly, right? And for institutions like this, I would say, promote a lot of mentorship programs, because women need a lot of mentoring. Promote leadership programs for women, right? Things that will allow them to believe in their own potential, right? So that's what, we can all do. And with that, I would like to wrap up. I hope I'm on time. So let's not break anybody's heart or anybody's ego. We just want to break all the invisible barriers that we hold within, so that we are capable of breaking all the external barriers and live to see a beautiful world of equality, where this example that she said so beautifully, if you think something is not equal, push somebody up so that you are doing your part in making the entire ecosystem something of equality. And with that, I'm sure we can build a beautiful future together, so that our upcoming generations should even think, hey, what does this word equality mean, right? It should become just like a norm that, yes, both are equal, both have equal opportunities, both have equal pay, because as somebody said, success knows no gender, money knows no gender, leadership knows no gender, talent knows no gender. So let's all aspire to build a beautiful world of equality by just breaking all the boundaries and making our future so beautiful. So I thank you all for this wonderful opportunity, and it was a pleasure to hear all the wonderful women. Thank you all for the opportunity. All the best. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an empowering session and for reminding us of the strength we carry as a community. As we conclude today's formal program, now I request Dr. M. Shekhar, HOD in charge, School of Maritime Management, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Vanakkam. Respected Vice Chancellor, Dr. Malini Shankar, Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Raju Balaji, esteemed statutory officers, Registrar, Controller of Exam, and the Finance Officer, distinguished chief guests, honored speakers, colleagues, and dear students, good afternoon to one and all. It is my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of IMU at this memorable International Women's Day panel discussion. We begin by expressing our deepest gratitude to our chief guest, Ms. Mrinalini D. Not only a distinguished maritime and sustainability professional, but also one of my own students, whose journey from IMU to global leadership fills us with pride. Her presence today is both inspiring and personally meaningful. We extend our sincere thanks to Ms. Sridevi Ramesh for her motivational words that have encouraged us to pursue excellence and resilience and purpose. Our hearty appreciation goes to our eminent panelist, Ms. Anita Paul Durai, Padma Shri Awardee, sporting legend, for reminding us of the strength and discipline and teamwork. Ms. Reshma Nilofer Visalakshi, India's first female maritime pilot, for her pioneering courage and trailblazing spirit. Ms. Nafisa Moolabai, a leader in the shipping industry, for her vision and commitment to advancing women's role in maritime business. We are grateful to our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Malini Shankar, and Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Raju Balaji, for their constant encouragement and leadership in fostering such meaningful engagements. Our thanks also go to all statutory officers of IMU, whose support ensures the smooth conduct of these events that enrich our academic and cultural life. A special word of appreciation to Dr. Krishna Kumari, the Associate Professor from School of Maritime Engineering Technology, who has coordinated today's event with dedication and precision. We also acknowledge with gratitude Dr. Tirupati and Dr. Muhammad Sadiq, the faculty of SMM, who took the initiative to distribute invitation to colleges and universities, ensuring wide participation and visibility. I will be failing in my duty if I do not acknowledge the efforts taken by Dr. Bhuneshwari, the Deputy Registrar. A special word of appreciation to the Dean SMM, Dr. Bangar Raju, to the organizing committee, faculty and students, volunteers, for the dedication and seamless coordination. Finally, to our cherished audience, your presence and spirited participation have woven warmth and meaning into this celebration. You have not merely attended, but enlivened the dialogue with your energy and attractiveness. May the inspiration gathered here today ripple outward like waves upon the ocean, guiding us towards a maritime world that is more inclusive, more progressive, and more humane. With gratitude as deep as the sea and pride as steady as the lighthouse flame, I once again thank each one of you for being part of the memorable occasion. I will finish this with a quote. The waves are very beautiful, not because they rise and fall, they never fail to rise after the fall. Thank you, Nandri.
Thank you, sir. As we remind everyone that breaking barrier is not a solo journey, but a collective mission. We thank the Indian Maritime University for hosting this vital conversation. Please join us in the foyer for high tea and continued networking. Thank you for being part of such a journey towards a more equal future. I request our volunteers to guide the dignitaries to the seminar hall, and students are requested to kindly go through the backstage for their refreshments. Thank you so much. Have a great day.